The MLB season has officially begun, and we've already got a few notable things to talk about and get stuck into. The Los Angeles Dodgers have started their homestand against the St. Louis Cardinals in expectedly dominant fashion. The new-look New York Yankees have gone into Houston to face the Astros and have shown just how much has changed from the 2023 season, and the Brewers and the Mets are about 10 minutes away from a Gangs of New York style showdown. So let's not waste any time and let's talk baseball.
The scooter, the barber, and the nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Well, Casey was winning.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk Baseball. I'm your host, Tom Scholes, and today we're just going to go straight into it. Opening day happened. The season's underway. These games mean something. It's amazing to watch. It's amazing to stay up until God knows what hours to watch these games. And honestly, I'm ready to just lose sleep for the rest of time. Maybe not the rest of time, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but between now and October, I'm prepared for it. When you get those summer nights where, you know, it might be a little bit too hot and you can't really get to sleep and you're scrolling through and go, oh, there's a West Coast game happening. A West Coast game happening at 3 in the morning. Yeah, I'll pop it on. It gets like 5 in the morning. You haven't slept, but you've seen some good games. So maybe that's what's going to happen. But I'm more than happy for that to happen. It's something I've always loved doing. And what opening day reminded me, and I say opening day over here in the United Kingdom, it wasn't necessarily opening day. It was more opening night, with the game starting at just after 8 o'clock. The first game, obviously, was the Baltimore Orioles hosting the Los Angeles Angels. Nothing has changed in that regard. As expected, the Orioles smashed them. Mike Trout hit the first home run of the season, and they lost. The Angels lost. So, sounds about right for them. But, you know, the game that I was stuck into, I had the double box on. You know, with MLB TV, you can have it on the television, you can have it on your laptop, you can have it on your computer, you can have it on your phone, and I decided to go with the two. I didn't want to be one of them people that had every screen going. I thought that was probably a little bit too much. But I tell you what, on the big television, we had watching the New York Yankees up against the Houston Astros, and then we had on the computer the Cardinals and Dodgers series. Because it was one of those ones where I wanted to see, obviously, my Yankees kick on, and everything like that. But what I also wanted to see was how the Dodgers got on in their new look lineup. You know, yes, they had the Soul Series, but I mean, as Dave Roberts said in his interview before the game, in the dugout, yes, they've had their opening day, but that felt like their actual opening day. It was a home opener, you know, so technically speaking, it wasn't their opening day, but I know what he means. I know what he means when he says things like that, because it's like, yeah, you watching it and you are going, yeah, this feels like the beginning of the Dodgers season. They were fantastic to watch. They were a great team. They're looking a very, very good outfit. And I know that sounds like really, really simple to say, but you have those collections of studs in your lineup. What else is going to happen? What else is going to happen? Tyler Glasnow is a fantastic pitcher, really enjoyable to watch. They're going to go deep. Obviously, they're going to go far. I know a lot of people have obviously jokingly said things like, "Oh, you know, they're going to get knocked out in the divisional series again." They might not do. They might do, but they might not do. Really, really insightful there. They might do, and they might not do. But, you know, focusing on that Yankees game, as I was, as a fan, I hate going to Houston. I hate going to Houston because it's just full of bad memories. Houston over the past 7 years for the Yankees has just been complete hell. It's complete torture. I can't get out of my head of Aroldis Chapman smiling after giving up that home run. If you know, you know. But it's horrible. It's a horrible place. So every time the Yankees play the Astros, even though it's opening day and it's the first series of the season, ultimately it doesn't really mean all that much. I still wanted to win really, really badly. I was still desperate to get that win. And, what I noticed from this game is that it doesn't feel like the Astros of old. And what I mean is, yes, they still have some really good hitters in their lineup. Yordan Alvarez is a fantastic hitter. Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, Kyle Tucker. They're fantastic players. Jose Abreu's fantastic players. Chas McCormick can come up with some hits when needed. But I didn't have the same level of... fear that I once had of the Astros. And yes, I know the situations are very different. And yes, I know the previous experiences have been about Game 7s of championship series or, games that matter when it comes to the crunch. But I was watching the lineup, and in my head I was like, that's a lineup that can easily be seen through and seen to. Same with their pitchers, to be honest. Once, and this I felt this in both Game 1 and 2. Once, Christian Javier and Framber Valdez got out of the games in Game 1 and 2, I felt, this team can be got at. And what we saw was very patient at-bats from the Yankees. We saw, Anthony Volpe drawing walks. Of course, we saw Juan Soto drawing walks, and he looked absolutely fired up at the end of the first game after he made that fantastic throw to seal the win, essentially. But you look at what's happened with that Astros team, and I don't know whether it's kind of like this not necessarily a niche reference, but I know what I mean when Manchester United had David Moyes as their manager. A lot of the players that were there were still the same as when they won the league under Sir Alex Ferguson, but something was different. The players were mostly the same, but something wasn't the same within the team. And I kind of feel that a little bit with the Astros. They're the closest thing this sport has had to a dynasty, however you want to call it. But has the wheels kind of like not fallen off? Because if the Astros won the division and got to the championship series, for example, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's what the Astros do. We had this conversation in the postseason last year. Most people probably would have gone, the Astros wouldn't make the championship series. Astros wouldn't make it. They have not been consistent enough. They've not been good enough throughout the season. But those that knew, and those that have experienced the Astros, looked at them and went, yeah, but it's the Astros. If there's ever a team that is going to put together a postseason run and shock people and kind of come up with clutch moments when needed, it's the Astros. I don't look at this lineup and kind of think the same. Of course, come back to me in 6 months' time and I'll probably be feeling very different about it. But the point I'm making and the point I'm trying to get across is they look exhausted. The wheels haven't fallen off, but there's a bit of a puncture, and they're trying to figure out exactly where the puncture is, in what wheel it's in. Justin Verlander is still injured and he's still going to come back. Framber Valdez, who is a very good pitcher, didn't look amazing in my opinion in Game 1. And, neither did Nestor Cortez Jr. He wasn't fantastic for the first couple of innings, but he grew into the game. Same with Carlos Rodon in Game 2. It was very odd to see. And I saw someone online describe it as this, and I completely agree. The Yankees won those games the way the Astros used to beat the Yankees. They would grind them down, they would expose the weaknesses within the bullpen, and they would take advantage of when they had them. They would be patient. Yes, we saw it in Game 1, and there was a couple of people like memeing about it and laughing and joking about it with the double plays and the Yankees, and nothing's changed here, but overall, the approach to the plate was a lot different for the Yankees. They were very patient. As I mentioned, Volpe and Soto getting good walks. they got good. Oswaldo Cabrera got some big hits when called upon, especially when he hits from the left hand, when he's hitting in his left-handed stance. Something I think he should do more often, because if there's one team in the league that can really benefit from more left-handers, certainly in home games, it's New York Yankees. So that was a good series to watch. It was a really fun series to watch. Certainly from my point of view, it was a fun series to watch because the Yankees won. If the Yankees got beat, I would not be sitting here saying that it was a fun series to watch. But some of the other games that happened over the last few days have been like the Braves and the Phillies have been doing some really good ties. The Braves took the first game 9-3 yesterday. Currently, as the time is just gone 9 o'clock on Saturday evening, 30th of March. It is a night of baseball. We're at the bottom of the first. For the Phillies, 3, Braves 2. I'm going to give you a rundown of the scores that are happening right now, even though you're probably going to be watching them after the event. The Tigers and the White Sox are drawing 6-all at the end of the ninth. They're going into extras. The Orioles are beating the Angels 3-1 in the fourth. Phillies 3, Braves 2. The A's and the Guardians, bottom of the third, that's 2 apiece. Bottom of the fourth, again tied. Royals nothing, Twins nothing. The Marlins have fallen 2 scores behind to the Pirates at the top of the fourth, and the Rays at 1-0 up against the Toronto Blue Jays at the top of the fourth. Some really good ties that you can watch at the moment. Again, the Reds and the Nationals, top of the fourth is 0-0. Later on tonight at 5 minutes past 11 UK time, you've got the Rangers versus the Cubs. Astros Yankees for Game 3 at 11:15. And then also at 11:15 on the West Coast, we've got San Diego Padres versus the San Francisco Giants. Going into the early hours of the morning, we've got the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, the Dodgers and the Cardinals, finishing off with the Boston Red Sox versus the Seattle Mariners. I'm really looking forward to some of these games. Obviously, tuning into Astros Yankees, once I've done filming this, once I've done recording this, there's a very high chance the Braves and the Phillies are going on. Very, very high chance. So I'm going to enjoy a good evening of baseball here, to be perfectly honest. One of the games that I want to dive into is one that's actually quite. I don't know if it's annoyed is the right way of putting it, but God, some of the things that have happened in this game are so stupid. I'm going to take you back to opening day. Game 1. Well, it's not even opening day, it's opening day for the Mets. The opening day for the Mets and the Brewers. Rhys Hoskins goes in on a slide to second base. Jeff McNeil takes umbrage to it. He's not happy with the slide. Now, I didn't watch the game, but I heard about the slide, so I went looking for it on Twitter. And I saw the slide, and I was expecting, studs up, 2-footed, into the shins, into the knees, knee high, knee above, maybe. And what I saw was a risky slide. It's probably a 4 out of 10 slide, but I was expecting a 2 out of 10 slide. All hell breaks loose. Bench is clear. It's what they say on television, things that you don't want to see that are clearly things we want to see. The bench is clearing up. Obviously, there's bad blood. Obviously, there is bad blood. But what then happens in the second game? Rhys Hoskins takes the Mets to town. He hit a big home run. And he hit a big home run. He had 3 hits and 4 RBIs. Rhys Hoskins tormented the Mets on the second game. And do you know what they did? Do you know what they did at the top of the 7th? After he'd butchered them, after his home run, after his 3 hits, after his 4 RBIs, they threw at him. They threw at him. One of my biggest annoyances in the entire sport is exactly this situation. The exact situation that happened here, the retaliation kind of, we're going to throw at him because he's done something against our team. No. It's a disgraceful way to behave. It's stupid. It's illogical. It's made even worse by the fact that you waited until the top of the 7th to throw at him after he's handed it to you. He's battered you all day with a home run and 4 RBIs. And you know what you do? You wait. You wait until the 7th, the top of the 7th, and then you go for him. Why not the first pitch he faces? Why not? You're that mad, you're that angry, you're that mad at him, you're that angry at what he did. You wait. You wait until he's destroyed your team. And then you go and get him. And then you go and throw at him. Not only is it incredibly dangerous to do, because if you mistime it by a second, a millisecond, an inch, anything, that man's career could be over. That ball might hit him in the head. It might hit him in the neck. You have no idea what's going to happen. It might hit him in the knee and his season's done. 2 games in and that's what you're doing. Ridiculous from the Mets. Stupid from the Mets. Disgraceful from the Mets. What are they doing? Why do they think this was a good idea? It's one thing to throw at him. It's one thing to intimidate him. But as the Mets broadcasters themselves said, why wait? They should have done it immediately. If you're going to commit to it, and if you're going to do it immediately. Don't wait. Don't hang around. Because now you look worse. Now you look even worse than anything he could have done. Realistically. If you go for him first, you send a message to him. It's not a message I agree with. It's not something I like seeing. It's not something I even want my own team doing. But if you are insistent on doing it, and if you are adamant of doing it, that's how you do it. You don't wait. And you don't wait until he's pummeled you to do it. It's completely illogical. And any sympathy the Mets had has completely gone out the window, because now they look like they're the ones crying. If they'd have done it the first pitch he's seen, if they'd have thrown the exact same pitch, the first pitch Rhys Hoskins has seen in the game, things would have been different. Yeah, you probably lose your starter, but that is what you go with. If you're insistent on doing these kind of things, that's the risk you run. Yes, there's a bench clearing rule. That's fine. That's normal. That's absolutely fine in my book. Yes, you lose a starter, but if you're committed to the whole we're going to throw at him thing, that's the risk you run. You then also don't look like you are retaliating to him beating you. You look like you're retaliating to him and this slide controversy. Instead, what's happened is they've waited. They've let him hit a home run. They've let him get 3 hits. They've let him get 4 RBIs. And then they plonk him. Pathetic. It is pathetic, childish, and they look like babies. And deep down, they know that. Whoever idea it was to do this, and whoever gave the green light to do this, needs to hang their head in shame. It was a pathetic situation that has just been made even more pathetic by this reaction. I hate the idea of throwing at people. I hate it. Throw close to them. I can get near that. I can open up to that, intimidate them, show them that you won't be messed around. But in reality, he hasn't actually done anything wrong. Because if the umpires didn't throw him out of the game, then what? It really winds me up. I know I said earlier on that it doesn't wind me up. Clearly it does wind me up. Clearly it does rile me. And he said after the game, every day I lace up my cleats, I am just trying to play the game hard and play the game the right way. I'm reading what people are saying online about this. I think the Mets have just found their new Chase Utley. Someone said, the Mets paternity test results are in, and Rhys Hoskins is the father. The Mets fans heavily booed him up for his first at-bat, top of the first, 2 men on, second and third. Hoskins approaches the plate. He's greeted with a chorus of boos. First pitch, 2-run single. That's why they're the Mets. You know, only 10 innings into the season, and Rhys Hoskins has already declared ownership of the Mets. The Mets are such effing losers. Rhys Hoskins is a goddamn legend. He really is Chase Utley 2.0. Rhys Hoskins left the Phillies to spread Mets hatred to a different fan base. What a guy. Now, I am watching every bit of this, and I've noticed a pattern. Not one person outside of the Mets organisation, whether that be a player, an official, a fan, a member of staff, have defended them for this. I can see why. Because it's stupid, it's pathetic, it's embarrassing. Better things to be doing than this. Do you know how would be a better way to retaliate to him? A better way to embarrass him? Not throw at his head. Strike him out. Make him go 0 for 4. That's how you embarrass these players. Booing them, it's like Popeye and spinach. You give him spinach, he's stronger. You boo some of these guys, they're better. They're just built differently. And it seems that Rhys Hoskins is built differently. Certainly when he's playing in Queens, or when he's playing against the team from Queens. It's just... Don't get me wrong, it's great fun. It's great fun because it's drama off the bat. Pun completely unintended. I had to pause myself because then I realised that it sounded awful. But it is drama right off the bat. And long may it continue, because God, I love some drama. But yeah, the Mets are an embarrassment for this specific incident. I don't want to banter off the Mets too much because I know everybody does it, and it feels like, I've got... They are a New York team, and I don't hate them. I just think they could be doing better. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. It's their own fault. Just beat him. Don't throw at him, just beat the guy. No, that's outrageous to suggest. Just beat him, for God's sake. Anyway, opening day is in the books. We've got some great games on right now that I'm going to go and watch in a minute when I finish this. When I've done my outro, I'm going to go and watch some games. This has been Let's Talk Baseball. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Please keep an eye on all the social channels for bits and pieces that will be coming out. It's a lot of fun doing this kind of thing. It's a lot of fun getting the glasses on, looking into the camera and just having a go at the Mets for some reason. if you're listening to the audio version of this on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts from, you will be hearing a song that is linked somehow to this situation. If you're watching the visual version on YouTube, I don't want to get copyright striked, so yeah. Thank you for making it this way to notice that I don't want to get copyright striked. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a pleasant evening. Enjoy the games that are on today. Enjoy the games that are on tomorrow. And enjoy the games that are on up and